Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our participants joining us today from different parts of India and beyond. I'm Dr. Shanoli Ray, founder of PROLEARNZ, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to today's online masterclass Screen Addiction Reset, Reclaim Focus, Balance, and Control. In today's fast paced digital world, screen dependency is impacting our focus, emotional well being, productivity, relationships, and learning patterns more than ever before. Whether we are students, educators, parents, or professionals, this is a conversation that truly matters to all of us. At ProLearns, we are committed to creating future ready learning experiences through masterclasses, professional certification programs, leadership training, soft skills, educator development, and career focused learning initiatives. We are delighted to have with us today our esteemed facilitator, Ms. Sakshi Harlalka, a counseling psychologist, psychotherapist, author, and TEDx speaker, who will guide us through this insightful and practical session. Thank you once again for joining us. Let us begin this enriching journey and learning together. Over to you, Sakshi, and welcome to the ProLance platform.
Thank you so much, Anoli. I think you gave a pretty elaborate introduction for me. Yes, today we will be speaking about screen addiction reset workshop. And this will take us about an hour and a half. And first of all, if everybody is comfortable, can we have the screens on? Because I feel as if I'm talking to just the screen. So
Yes,
if it is
I
comfortable, we can have people switch on the screen. Otherwise, it's okay, no problem.
If you, I am requesting all if you can. Good evening, Revati ma'am. If you can put your cameras on, those who can, if it is possible for you.
Okay.
Good
So
evening, Divya ma'am.
quickly, we just want to first of all understand that in today's time, screen is something which is inevitable. Agree, disagree. Who all agree with me? Who all disagree with me? Because
Agree.
thanks to COVID, not even COVID, let's say in our olden times, our grandparents, our parents, everybody is used to watching TV right from the time when DD National and everything started. We all thought it to be a relaxing platform. Yes. So we all have been used to screen. We all have been watching screen. We all have been getting information from screen, whether it is a TV or whether it is theaters long back that time, or nowadays it is about the digital media, social media, and all of it. However, considering the fact, let's understand that first of all, we need to reframe this particular idea from our system that screen is inevitable. It is not possible, whether from children, whether from adults, even from older adults, even the geriatric population, it's not possible to take away the screen. Yes, but what matters is the regulation. What matters is the control of switch on and switch off. What matters is whether it is controlling me or I am controlling its usage. These thoughts are extremely important when we speak about screen addiction reset. Now, when does anything become addiction? Would anybody like to share their insights? When does anything become addiction? How can you say that it is an addiction? Whether it is screen, whether it is gaming, whether it is alcohol, whether it is drugs. whether for that matter shopping, whether for that matter anything. When does anything becomes addiction? Would anybody like to say? Yes, Divya ma'am.
I think it's when we are continuously using it or continuously uh, you're following it, that can become considered as addiction.
Perfect. Varalakshmi ma'am, would you like to say something? I can see your hand raise. Okay. Anybody else would like to share those insights? Thank you so much, Divya ma'am. Would anybody else like to share their insights? When does anything become addiction?
Yes, as ma'am said, the same thing. When we are using continuously, frequently, that will become an addiction.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So these two, anybody else would like to share anything? Do we have more hands? No? Okay. So, yes, in a simple layman language, it is definitely absolutely correct meaning that when we use something frequently, or when we become dependent on something, or when we start doing something which is excessive. However, there is a part which needs to be understood in this. Now, tell me something, a person who's working in an IT sector, or a person who's working with Google, Apple, Microsoft, developing coding, developing algorithms, developing machine learnings, AIs, would you call that person screen addiction?
No,
Why, ma'am?
it is work, it is job. So we cannot say that is an addiction.
Absolutely. So you see, addiction is this is where addiction differentiates. This is the key factor in addiction. Something that takes away your productivity, something that takes away your purpose, something that takes away your thinking, something that takes away your interest, something that takes away your hobby, something that takes away your whole meaning of existence. This is what addiction is called. It shuts you down. That is why you see AI people, algorithm people, computer people, technology people, they are not into screen addictions. However, they do suffer some other problems in mental health and emotional health, but not a screen addiction. So, if we remember this basic premise as to what is addiction, and why screen addiction now becoming a concern, now becoming a problem, now becoming a challenge, especially in children, or especially nowadays, even we have a lot of cases coming for geriatrics, because even with geriatrics, we are experiencing a lot of screen addiction, to which I will address in the later part of my session today. So, Shanali ma'am, could you please allow me to share my screen? Could you give me the permission, please?
It is not showing here. Uh, are you asking for the permission? Just
Yes, ma'am, please.
not showing.
Okay, by the time ma'am gives me permission to start sharing my screen, I want to quickly think all of you in your mind. I don't want to know, just for your own thing. My very first question is, on an average, how much time do you think you spend on screen? Does not matter whether it is productive, not productive, important, not important. We will not go into those technicalities. I want you to mentally introspect and note down how many hours are you on a screen. Very first question. Just mentally note down this first question. Second, yeah, very good, Sumona ma'am. Please keep it with you. Second, how much do you think is your mood, emotion, or feeling, not the thoughts, mood, emotion, feeling, dependent on screen time? On a scale of 0 to 10, you can quantify that. This also includes, for example, let's say nowadays, a lot of teenagers come to us and they say that, ma'am, our Instagram feed has become emotional in nature. Whatever we are feeling, like a breakup or something like that, we automatically start feeling the same thing, and that comes as our feed. So, similarly, in those lines, how would you say that it has started affecting your mood, emotions, and feelings? That's my second question. My third question is, how many of us believe on a scale of 0 to 10 that our dependency for problem solving, or our dependency for answer, or our dependency for looking for solution has started becoming on screen? From 0 to 10, quantify yourself mentally.
Yeah, I have made you the host now, okay? Because this allowing
No,
is not coming,
yeah,
so that you
no
can share
problem.
this.
No problem. So keep in mind these three questions. First, my time. Second, my mood and emotions and feelings. And third, dependency on screen time. And we will come back to this later in the session. Okay. Now, I will just quickly share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible to everyone? Can somebody just give me a heads up?
No, ma'am, it's not able to see.
Not able to see. Okay. Can somebody just give me a quick check?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is it okay? Clear
Yeah.
and fine? Okay. So, welcome to the program Screen Addiction Reset in company with PROLEARNZ. I'm Sakshi Halalka, a counseling psychologist and psychotherapist. I'm based out of Calcutta, practicing from past more than 15 years now. We have a team and we work on it. So let me first quickly, all of us know what screen addiction does to all of us, but however, just let's quickly understand uh, physically, socially, emotionally, and psychologically, how does it impact us? Physically, we know that once we start watching reels, once we start watching some videos, once we start watching some OTT channels or whatever it is, obviously we want to keep watching up until finally we feel that our headspace can't take it. Then we get into something which is called digital eye strain. We get into sedentary behavior. uh, I will definitely address this sedentary behavior later on also, because this is what we have been observing, especially even with therapy, that people are getting into this behavior, especially with the geriatrics. We are seeing this because um, they are depending a lot on screen with old age, and because they slow down with physical conditions and physical energy. This sedentary behavior is something which is a concern for all of us in terms of geriatric population primarily. Next is posture issues. I was presenting a research paper recently in NIMHANS where we were talking about behavioral addictions among the age bracket of 16 to 55 years of age. And It was a complete paper based on all sorts of behavioral addiction, where internet gaming disorder, social media addiction, screen addiction in adult population, all of this was included. It was a systematic review study of mine in NIMHANS. And when I came across that, posture issues was one of the things that we observed, that not only in teenagers, not only in children, not only in a certain population, we saw that there were a lot of studies which shows that cervical spondylitis, dizziness, migraines, lump at the top of your neck area, shoulder folding of the shoulders, and everything. These were the things that were primarily noticed in those research papers. Social impacts, we all know that fubbing is something which is bothering. Like say for example, there is this couple who came to me for therapy, and they were okay to converse over a WhatsApp. They were okay to share long messages over WhatsApp, living under one roof, staying under one roof, but not ready to communicate. The moment their phones were taken away and they were asked to interact in my chamber, um, they just didn't know how to interact normally and calmly without emoticons, without AI transferring their entire chat into a softer tone or something like that. This is what a screen is doing to all of us. This is what the dependency that I was talking about is doing to all of us. Social comparison. This is one of the key features why screen addiction is taking a botheration, because it happens with me also. Suppose if I am following some leads of some psychologist and I'm seeing the work from some psychologist, I will start feeling that let me imitate that behavior, or let me be like them, or let me be doing something on that tangent, or something like that. So that is the social comparison. People using lot of screen to in order to explore themselves, in order to understand themselves, but it is going other ways. Reduce non-verbal skills, this I just mentioned along with fubbing, is that nowadays, let's say for example, you and I have a situation which requires to be spoken, communicated. However, there is little bit of argument happening, there's little bit of escalation happening in the communication, there's loud voice happening, there's screaming, shouting happening. I will very conveniently pick up my phone, go and sit in another room and start scrolling, thinking that I want to avoid that conversation, or I want to avoid that particular situation, or I want to regulate my emotions. Is it healthy? Not healthy. Again, a very situation. Emotional and psychological impacts. This we will always again discuss now. Dopamine loop, anxiety and FOMO, and mood regulation. Now, moving ahead from here, let us just understand first of all what triggers excessive screen use. Before I go here, I just want to quickly, close the window and understand one thing, that how would how would you people like to share and say that um, what do you think are the triggers that increase screen sharing or screen usage? Would anybody like to share as to what, in a simple language, can lead to, as a personal experience, that can lead to excessive screen usage? Would anybody like to share their insights?
When we feel we are alone.
Very good. Excellent. Absolutely correct. What else? Would anybody else like to share? Let's make this interactive. I will feel very bored otherwise. Would anybody like to share? What makes us use the screen excessively?
When we have more expectations from the others.
Lovely. Excellent. What else?
Ma'am, maybe we are feeling bored and we need, actually need expectations. We need more, what do you say, knowledge or more.
Very good. We need more knowledge. Have expectations. We are feeling lonely. We are having boredom. We want something to keep us, our moods and our emotions into a certain level of, um, energy. What else?
Motivation, ma'am.
Lovely. Very good. That's a positive aspect of screen. That's why you see, I said in the starting that screen is not bad. It's not inevitable. It's definitely not going to go from our lives. But we need to understand what are we using it for and what are we doing for it. Of course, thoda bahut badmashi, thoda bahut entertainment, thoda bahut all these things are also good to do, but how and when?
Ma'am,
So
right now we
anybody
are
else?
using it and that is in a positive way.
Of course, excellent, very good. What else? Okay, so let's go to this. Is my screen again visible?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So, like Divya ma'am was saying, like Suman ma'am was saying, what triggers excessive screen use? Absolutely boredom, stress or anxiety, loneliness, habit and routine, notifications and alerts, emotional triggers, social comparison, environmental cues, and easy access and availability. Again, we all know that whenever we are feeling stress or anxiety, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do anything else. Let me just go back to my phone and get into whatever is available. I want to divert my mind. Let me go on the screen. I want to see what my friends are doing. Let me go onto the screen. I want to see what my colleagues are doing. Let me go onto the screen. I am feeling sad or angry or frustrated. Let me go to the screen. Also, the environmental cues, like for example, I don't want to go on screen, but suppose my friend is sharing a reel about XYZ thing or or a Facebook message or a video to me, I will automatically have no choice but to check it. Again, the notification and the alert, like while I'm talking to, I already have about 10 or 15 notifications on my phone. So I am having the urge to check my phone, and then a habit or a routine that am I missing out something, am I not addressing something, what if somebody texts me and I don't text them back immediately, will I be considered as um, not not having respect for the other person or something like that. So these are the reasons by which we start using screens more and more and more and more. Now, we need to understand one thing here is this trigger of excessive screen use can be different for different people. So let's say, for example, with children, if we want to, sorry, would like somebody like to share something? Okay. Okay. So I think we're having a background sound from somewhere. Never mind. So in order to solve, especially with children or especially with teenagers, we first need to understand what are they getting from screen. What is it that they are receiving from screen? We keep telling them, I also have children, grown up children, and I also keep telling them, don't be on laptop, don't be on mobile, don't watch TV so much, don't be on your notebooks and tablets. But I forget many a times what are they getting from that at that moment, which they are not getting supplied from the environment, or they're not getting supplied from me, or they are not getting supplied from their friends, or they're not getting supplied from the school environment or something like that. Or is the time when they are using the screen, am I going and checking that are they using the screen for some work, for some educational purposes, for some project, or I just see them on the screen and stand on the door outside their room and I just see them on the screen and I say, stop the screen, leave the phone, leave the laptop. So, is this rational of me or is this irrational of me? Is this way of regulating screen use is sensible or is it not sensible? We need to understand this. Next, let's watch this video because this is little neuropsychology as to what happens when we want screen. Of course, I'm sure you people must be aware of this term in technology. A lot of people talking about this neurosciences of dopamine chemical and all of these things. However, let's quickly run through this video. Okay. Before I move on further to this particular thing, let me quickly understand one thing with everyone. Okay, let's understand it this way. Screen addiction or excessive screen time is actually giving us three things. One is the need for instant gratification. Say, for example, I have cooked something for my family. Now, I have put all my love, all my heart, all my feelings into it, all my time, energy, and everything into it. The moment a family member takes a bite, what do? We are looking at that family member's face, all four of them or three of them sitting on the table, as to what are they going to say. They have not even started chewing, but my need for appreciation or my need for response is increasing and increasing and increasing the moment they are biting, putting it in their mouth, and starting to chew. What is this? A need for appreciation, a need for gratification. What? Instantly. Something that I want to heal me, help me, handle me instantly. I do not have the capacity and the bandwidth and the patience to be healed after 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour. I want it immediately. So you see, this need for instant gratification. Say, for example, I am crying, I am sad, I'm upset, I had a certain problem with somebody, and it so happened that I've cried, 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 Now, what do I want? I want either somebody to come and console me, care for me, caress me, take care of me, talk to me, or if I don't see that happening, I will go online. Either I will look for the same reels, same shorts, same videos, same songs, same things which would relate with my emotion at that moment, or I would look for an opposite one so that I can be pulled up in a second. This is the need for instant gratification, which increases our usage, excessive usage on screen. Tell me something. How many of us, especially, of course, we are all belonging to same generation and age, but tell me something in today's time, haven't we noticed that children find it difficult to remember phone numbers? They find it difficult to maintain a diary or a log. They want quick answers. If you will not give them answer as a mother or as a father or as a grandparent, they will not even come and ask you for the second time. They will just immediately type on it and get an answer. There have been studies recently where people are talking about digital addiction, screen addiction, and all these things. And what they see is there is reduced resilience, there is low frustration tolerance, and rational emotive therapy, which is REBT by Albert Ellis, has also released one study which says that they create an excessive demand on themselves in because of these screen times. I should know this. I must know this. If I don't know this, means I will be laughed upon. So you see this particular need of instant gratification, this particular need of this particular answer, this particular need of solution immediately is what is screen making us addictive to it. So, this is the first thing that we will speak about later on in our solutions to overcome instant gratification. Second most important thing is the dopamine loop, which we just saw. Dopamine is a happy hormone, or it is a neurotransmitter or a chemical that is like a stimulant to us. Tell me something. A child who's fought with his friends while playing in a playground, how long does a child stay upset for? Or how long does a child cry for? Would somebody like to answer that?
I think for a few minutes, seconds, it's not more than that.
Of course. Or maybe, thank you so much, Divyaji. Or a person will just come, the child will come stomping and stamping to mama and say, I hate this friend. I don't like this friend. I will not talk to this friend ever. And he's not a good friend of mine. And here you and I are seeing the child next day playing with the same child in the same playground with the same game and yet fighting again. Why? Because a child just knows to be in the present moment, and whatever is stimulating that child, the child will go into that because that is releasing a dopamine for him instantly. That is an energy booster for him instantly. And dopamine, like we just saw in the video, is also motivational, is also rewarding. But are we really focusing on the reward system or the motivational aspect, or are we just focusing on the stimulation part of it? So, this is what we really need to focus because, my friends, treating children day in and day out, the screen addiction solution is different for every child based on the personality, based on their emotional and cognitive framework based on what they are doing on the screen, based on their environment, based on their parenting, based on how they want to understand themselves. So, screen addiction, we know we have to solve in children, we know we have to solve in us, we know we have to solve in our adults, but we need to first understand that what is the reward, what is the motivation, what are they getting from the screen? And third, the most important factor is habit loop. Now tell me something. Don't we all have habit? Some of us have a habit of having a bed tea in the morning. Some of us have a habit of doing pranayam, yoga, walk, running, aerobic, Zumba, something in the morning. Some of us have a habit of eating, not drinking water while eating. How are these habits? What would you like to say about these habits? Are they good? Are they bad? Should we have it? Should we not have it? What would you like to say about the habits? What are your insights on habits? Would somebody like to contribute?
Sometimes it is good because a bed coffee makes us cheer in the morning. It get
Very good.
refreshed our mind. So sometimes it is good, but sometimes
Excellent.
always where there is a good, obviously one side, other side will be a bad.
Perfect. Can you also, can somebody tell me when do you think? Okay, so it's very good, ma'am. We feel refreshing. Absolutely correct. Well, anybody else would like to share something? Now, of course, the moment we heard the word habit, we started feeling that it is a good thing. But why are we talking in terms of screen addiction? Or why are we talking in terms of habit being a problem or habit not okay in terms of screen addiction? Would somebody like to share that?
Ma'am, what I think is like if the habit is for a short time and it makes us feel happy, then it is okay. But if the same thing is continuing for a longer period and we are actually whatever good things we have, it is been taken away by that habit. So I think it is because of that we are having this session. I think so.
Lovely. Very good, Divyaji. I just want to add one more point in this. Suppose आप मेरे को एक चीज बताइए. For example, you are habitual of having your tea every day in the morning at a fixed time of, let's say, 6:30 in the morning. Now, one fine day, we have a puja or we have a ritual or we have some fast or something, and we do not get that tea at 6:30 in the morning. How do we feel about it?
Yeah, I think headache and something like this, not
Okay,
feeling. Uh,
okay. But does that happen immediately?
no, I don't think so. What I feel, ma'am, sometimes
Yes,
that when we are actually thinking about it, like, अरे आज fast है,
very
आज मैंने
good.
चाय नहीं पी, आज ये किया, something like this, for thinking, then it is. Otherwise, if you are not so much addicted, so I think it is not happening then.
Correct. Lovely answer. This is what I was looking for. Habit and addiction has this difference that habit you can rationalize your brain. You can justify as to why there is a delay in your tea consumption at 6:30 in the morning. And
Right.
habit, is done by choice.
Choice.
It was your choice to do at 6:30. It have your tea every day at 6:30 from 20 for 20 years. It is your choice not to have the tea next day at 6:30 in the morning, but rather get up and do your puja, do your fast, whatever it is, and then probably have the tea later on by 7:30 or 8 o'clock. It is your choice. It is a rationale that you put to your brain. This is the difference between addiction and habit. Any screen time involvement starts with a habit. A habit of, let's say, for example, that, okay, let me go on screen for 20 minutes a day so that I have all the news at my disposal. I have all the context at my disposal. I have all the information and messages available for me. I will check all my emails and everything. Now, this is a habit that we all develop, but subtly and gradually, slowly and easily, it starts converting into a addiction, right? So, habit is something which is a key factor in order to make or break a screen addiction. Okay, come, let's go back to my screen. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so habit formation. This is the third thing that I was talking about. First, instant gratification. Second was dopamine loop. And third was habit formation. How does habit formation starts happening negatively or unhealthily in case of screen addiction? It happens, for example, I have completed my entire day. I did look after my family, I did my job, I completed my household chores, I did everything. Now I want to be rewarded for doing everything in the entire day by watching a screen. So, what happens? I am stressed for the whole day. I did for everyone. Now, I wanted to do something for myself, and I go into a habit of watching a screen in the night before going to bed, or maybe towards evening. I will watch something on the screen, and that will become my routine. And then this routine will convert into infinite scrolling or infinite watching, checking on people, overcoming emotional instability, or something like that. And how am I rewarded? I am rewarded with something coming new, something getting connected. Maybe I see some friends. It just reminds me of that friend, and I've not spoken to that friend for a very long time. I will end up talking to that friend, and this loop goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And this loop, over the time, we do not realize from an habit, it has become more like a addiction. And the moment it starts becoming an addiction, I will start having emotional dysregulations. I will start having mood swings because I did form a habit, but I gave the choice to watch this to someone which is on the screen. This choice that I was talking of regulating my habit and not feeling uncomfortable कि मैंने आज नहीं करा तो क्या हो जाएगा is what is converting into a habit to an addiction. My friends, this is an extremely important part. As per me, even in my researches, I have seen that this is an extremely important part when it comes to screen addiction. Now, it is very, very important to identify my personal triggers. I want you all to maybe take a paper or a pen, or maybe use your phones, whatever it is. Again, we are depending on digital, but it's okay. And I want you to write down, when do you reach for your phone without thinking? Or what are your personal triggers for depending on screen? And then we will do a very beautiful exercise. Please take your time, and all of you note this down. What are my personal triggers? When do I reach my phone without thinking? Take your time, do not rush. See if you can also be little elaborative on writing what makes me reach my phone. Okay? Now, I want all of you to close your eyes and just relax and sit. Just listen to my voice. Because I cannot see everyone, so I'm assuming that everybody is participating in this activity. Close your eyes. Just try to focus on the sounds that are playing around you. Apart from my voice, whatever sounds are playing around you in your environment, just try to connect with them. Just be aware. Bring your focus to that sound. Now, slowly and gradually, bring your focus to your heart. See if you can follow the rhythm, the beat, the pulse, the movement, the expansion and contraction of your heart. Do not rush. Take your time. Just inhale and exhale normally. Do not control your breathing. Just relax. Now just imagine whatever you have written down as to your personal triggers, you are projecting on this blank white screen. Put all your personal triggers without any guilt, without any remorse, without any regret, without any complaint. Just put your triggers on this board. It's a plain white screen. You are sitting on a chair and it's a screen in front of you, and you're putting all your personal triggers onto the screen. You want, you can write sentences. You want, you can write words. You want, you can write your feelings. Whatever comes to your mind, do not rush. Take your time. Now, wherever you have written your personal triggers, take one trigger at a time and think that 5 years or 10 years back when you felt that trigger, what is one activity that you can remind yourself doing that 10 years or 20 years back when you did not have the screen? Replace that trigger which makes you use the phone, replace the use of phone with any activity that you did 10 years back in order to overcome, let's say if it is boredom, let's say if it was loneliness, let's say if it was motivation, let's say even if it was gaining knowledge, let's say even if it was interacting. What did you do for yourself in place of use of screen when you felt your trigger? Do not cut anything, do not remove anything from the screen. Just write the alternative next to that trigger mentally in your mind by visualization. Because many psychologists believe that we all know our solutions, but we forget about them because they are not rehearsed, because they are not practiced, and because we do not recollect and remember them. Take one trigger at a time and write an alternative. Take second trigger, write an alternative. Take third trigger, write an alternative. Remember, we are doing all of this mentally. We are doing all of this in our visualization. Slowly and gradually, bring your consciousness back to your heart. Bring your awareness to the rhythm of the heart. Bring your awareness to your surroundings, to the sounds, and open your eyes with a big smile. Would anybody like to share their experiences? Doesn't matter if we couldn't visualize, doesn't matter if we couldn't do the activity, or I rushed into the activity because of the time constraint. But anybody would like to share any insights on this?
Yes, ma'am. Nowadays, we used to use our mobiles like when someone assigns some work for us, for example, to prepare for the anchoring or something else like that. We want to show our best. Means they should say that yes, you have done a good job. So we have
Correct.
some sources where we are going to chat GPT, Gemini, and so many varieties of sources are there where we are going to get the information. So we are triggered to get the information in a different sources.
Lovely. Excellent.
So, but before when, as you said, 20 years back, we don't have any sources like this, AIs and all. We used to get the information from the friends, from the newspapers, or any other sources like a books, everything.
Or ma'am, maybe textbooks. You see, in
Textbooks.
my clinic, these
For
girls
sim
many a
Nowadays,
times,
what happened? For
yes,
simple word meaning, we are not going to see the dictionaries. Just we'll type it in a Google,
absolutely,
the meaning of that word. So this is what it is making us to be very lazy. But
absolutely. And
obviously,
ma'am,
it
you
is
rightly said
unfortunately
it
we
is
don't have
instant
time. Yes,
it is instant gratification.
yes. So we need sources as soon as possible. We want to get the work to be done so early. So we are using
Correct.
the screens.
Correct. And ma'am, there is an external pressure also on me, no? Because if
Yes,
my colleague is delivering in 5 minutes, but I am delivering, consulting a book in 20 minutes, my
yes,
my colleague is going to get an upper hand in front of my boss.
yes. That pressure will be there. Yes,
Correct.
correct.
That pressure
Yes,
will be there. Yes.
that makes us to
Very good.
use more screens.
Exactly.
Yes,
Absolutely
ma'am.
correct. So patience,
And
that's
for
what
the
I was
second
talking,
question,
ma'am.
when I my phone without thinking, for example, if someone's phone is ringing, their ringtone is same, our ringtone is same. I may think that my phone is ringing, so my alertness will go to my phone.
Absolutely correct. This is
Yes,
also leading to something which in psychology we call as hypervigilance.
yes,
The mind does not know how to shut down. Thank you so much, Savannah ma'am. It will be a part of my presentation later. And this is what is the reason of anxiety. I am constantly alert about that ringing of the phone and feeling, what if it is my phone? What will happen if that phone is going to ring and be silent and then I will address it after 5 minutes? What will happen? Very good. Ma'am is saying also we are not giving brain exercise of thinking and recalling. Absolutely correct. You see, rehearsing is slowly and gradually diminishing from our thinking process. That is the reason our brain is not stretching into neuroplasticity, and the information is not going from short term memory to long term memory. मुझे एग्जाम्पल दीजिए कितने जनों को अभी 10 मिनट पहले अगर उन्होंने इंस्टा देखा होगा वो रील्स याद होंगी उनका कंटेंट याद होगा उनका एसेंस याद होगा कि मैंने किस चीज पे रील देखी है बट वो रील के ग्राफिक्स वो रील की डेप्थ वो रील का म्यूजिक वो रील का इंटरप्रिटेशन वो रील के ग्लिचेस कुछ याद नहीं होंगे मेरे को because I have not given it sufficient time to look at it. I have just kept on scrolling, moving ahead my finger, and I have not focused, rehearsed, and not taken the information from my short term memory. Forget even about short term memory, from my sensory perception to my STM, which is short term memory. 1 or 2 seconds, or perhaps let's say 1 or 2 minutes, are we on something? Attention span and retention time both decreased. Absolutely correct, ma'am. Absolutely correct. This is so true. Yeah? Come, let's move ahead with the screen. So, this is what we were talking about, that I must know my own personal triggers. So, if I want to handle a child, if I want to take care of a child, if I want to alter these behaviors from children, from adults, from geriatric populations, I must know their personal trigger first. They must be able to identify what is happening, why it is happening. And trust you me, their personal triggers will be different for different people. And of course, they can keep changing. Today it is boredom. Tomorrow it can be fear of missing out on information. The third day it can be about social comparison. Now let's go quickly to our practical reset techniques. So, practical reset techniques, of course, we all know we must have a control over our thing. We all know how to put screen timers nowadays. We know all of this. I will not talk about those things today. I will talk about something which is called grayscale mode. Remove the visual reward of vibrant icons to make the phone less stimulating. What does this mean? This means that why can't my phone look, let's say, subtle or simple? Why can't my notifications be switched off? Why can't I put DND on my phone from a certain time? Why can't I use a normal clock or a normal alarm clock or a watch to see the time on my phone? Or why can't I replace my habit formation with something apart from my screen? Now, these are the techniques which are doable, easy. However, what matters is from mindless using of phone to meaningful using of phone. See, again, I wouldn't say that every time we use a phone, it should be productive, it should be motivating, it should be rewarding. No. Of course, there should be leisure. Of course, there should be fun also. Of course, there should be entertainment also because that is also important. That is a form of rewarding. I had this client recently who was experiencing depression, a geriatric client. She was experiencing depression and she was not using her phone that much because she did not know how to use a phone. We did introduce some mindful screen use in a phone for an hour with certain technology changes in her phone by putting a screen timer and everything. And we saw that she was responding and improving in her depression. What were we doing in that? We had put some things like humor. We had put some apps that were creating humor for her. We had put some apps that were giving her motivational motivational messages every morning, not coming from a friend, not coming from any guru or anyone, just simple messages that were flashing on her phone. There was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was no Snapchat, there was no Twitter, there was no WhatsApp on her phone. There were just these apps which was allowing her to laugh, which was allowing her to read something that would resonate with her personality. It did not involve anything that was too spiritual or too moralistic because she was feeling very overwhelmed with everything. So we just started with small things like laughing. And she used to really feel good about it. So, mindless screen use, which is about escapism, distraction, pastime, how can we convert it? Is learn, create, solve problems, grow. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it that with dementia patients, with neurodegenerative people, with Alzheimer's people, with people who are becoming slow and degenerating in their brain, we use lot of visual and screen stimulations in order to let that brain function and the gray matter retain. With children, especially in ADHD, especially with today's generation, in order to have rapport with them, because children don't like to come for therapy if it is boring. So, in order to keep that, we try to keep 7-8 minutes of productive screen use in their iPad only, in their phone only, and then after that 7-8 minutes, they are taken that particular gadget from them, and it is replaced with an alternatively equally stimulating exercise. So, whatever dopamine they have released by watching a screen in that 7-8 minutes, it is continued and sustained with the activity that is following the screen time. And then we slowly and gradually get into, after 30 minutes, we get into something which is calming, which is soothing, which is relaxing, which is uh, good for them. That is our ulterior purpose in therapy. So it is a kind of a journey for that 45 minutes where a child is first given the screen, made to do something on the screen, then the same dopamine is continued with some activity, and then we can shape whatever we want to shape in that child after giving what we have given to them in the initial 15 minutes. So, this is what we are talking about here, friends, from mindless to meaningful. We all are aware of all of this. I do not have to go into growth of it, into detail of all these things. But the key takeaway is that with every person, every individual, we can create mindless screen use. We can customize it, we can tailor made it, we can individually plan it, and then take into productive screen use, and then go into offline alternatives. Because, my friends, it's very easy to take away things from people, whether it is children, whether it is family members, whether it is adult. But it is very important that what are we fitting into that vacuum that we have created by taking away something. So, last but not the least, is the reset plan that we all must understand is becoming, first of all, aware about it that my triggers are my triggers. It cannot be or may not be as same as what the other person's triggers are. And choosing what I want to change. Maybe everything about the screen is not what I want to change. Maybe only one thing I would want to change and start from there. And again, converting my addiction to habit, a habit which is my choice, a habit which I can choose to do or not to do, like with an example of tea, and then act on that. Go through a trial method, go through an error method. Did it work? Did it not work? Did it work for one day? Did it not work for one day? Do not make a plan which is for a week or for a month, because that is again a demand which I'm creating. My friends, a lot of these teenagers, a lot of these children, they go through this concept of blocking, unblocking their friends very conveniently. Trust you me, the moment they block, within 1 hour, I will definitely get messages from that. Then, Auntie, ma'am, please help us. We blocked. Now we are having the urge to unblock. And I tell them, do not block your boyfriends, or do not block your friends, or do not block your breakups. Otherwise, you will have an immediate urge to unblock them. So, an action must be taken for a day and reinforce the second day, and then reinforce the third day. and be okay to change it if it does not work on the fourth day. So the awareness means tracking your use, reflecting on yourself as to why I reach my phone, what do I get from it. The second step is the focus area. Pick one or two things to start with. That what is that one thing I want to change, how I want to change, and I want to see myself for one day, 2 day, and it's okay for me to change something on third day. Using a toolkit, turning off the notification, using the grayscale mode, that is keeping your phone at a minimalistic visual appearance, limit or remove addictive apps, set time limits, using DNDs, create friction, log out, or move apps to home screen, off home screen, like hiding them or something like that. Offline alternatives, we all are aware of it. My personal reset plan, make your own plan, my why, my goals, my actions, my boundaries, my support system, and my review plan. And please be kind to yourself and not be harsh with yourself or whomsoever we are trying to incorporate the reset plan. So, thank you very much. And from here, I'm okay and open to take any questions that you have, okay to take any feedbacks you have, okay to take whatever insights you have to share. Yes. Would anybody like to share, say something, ask something? We can
Yes, you
always
can
have.
unmute and you can share your feedback, your any experience you want to share, or anything you want to ask. It is now the
I
open floor.
just want to add one line, Shanoli ma'am, is that balance is what will lead us to elimination, not being indifferent, not being harsh with ourselves. It is the balance which is very important. This is
Yes.
what I would like to add, and balance will bring elimination of our screen usage. Yes, whatever. I'm open to anything that comes.
Yes, if you want to share about your experience, personal experiences.
Yes, I would love to hear.
Yes.
It'll help me also grow. Family ma'am, would you like to share something?
Yes, I was about to tell that when I was doing this, the workout you were sharing, the closing the eyes and all. I was remembering I used to read a lot, but now it has been replaced by
Correct.
scrolling the free. Yes, to some extent. Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. So these thing I need to again get back to reading during my free time.
I think our roots, our foundations